Hey mamas, happy Tuesday. I'm gonna wait for my co-host, Molly Ann Luna, to come in. I'm excited about the topic today. Today's actually the perfect day to talk about what we're talking about today. And I'll tell you why in...
Hey mama!
Hey Molly!
Oh, welcome mama who's watching this show. I want to know, where are you tuning in from? I'm here in Los Angeles, and sadly, Valentina, you're not with me.
I'm not with you this week. It was so nice to do the live show last week from your place and together. It was so much fun. Yes, I'm missing you right next to me right here.
Well, we're here in spirit. We got you covered coast to coast here in the U.S. But for the mama watching, tell us in the comments below, where in the world are you watching from?
Yes, welcome to Mama Talk Live. I'm your host, Valentina Izara.
And I'm Molly Ann Luna, and this is the place to be where business-minded mommies come together to connect, to share, and to grow, and to talk about all things motherhood and business building.
Absolutely. So grab your latte or your cafecito, because today's conversation, I think, is something that every single woman who's a mother and who's an entrepreneur or trying to thrive in her business is, struggles with, and it's something that they have to live with and do, right?
Yes. Okay. So today's topic, mama, is all about letting go of the excuses and the alibis and really step back into your power and to create some major changes and major results in your life.
Yes, absolutely. And let me just say that both Molly and I, before we got on this call live right now, we were just like, this is the perfect topic to be talking about today, because we both have today is like one of the craziest days for both of us, and we have a million excuses not to be here live with you guys. But hey, there's no excuses. We decided to show up and be with you guys today, regardless of the craziness and the mayhem and everything else going on, because we're both working mothers that we also have our children that we have to take care of. And for example, today my nanny canceled, and I was supposed to actually go help my husband at the practice, because I help him at apart from from my digital platform and for everything that I do in the podcast and everything for Mamas Con Ganas. I also help my husband with his practice once a week. And this week he actually wanted me to help him 3 days a week because we're low staffed. And then on top of that, my nanny canceled. So it's like, since the beginning of the day, my day has been just like a whirlwind of trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with and do all the things that I need to do, right? And you're Molly. Tell us what your case is, because you're also having a great thing.
The whirlwind, absolutely. So we're here. We're not just talking the talk, we're walking the walk, because today is an action-packed, jam-filled day for me. I'm really excited to have a public speaking engagement tonight. I get to step in front of a room full of about 200 people and speak some really awesome business strategies to them. And it's just life. It's just chaos, right? I'm a full-time mommy. I'm a wife. I don't know. I could go on and on with my excuses and my alibis, but mama, no more. We must take action.
Yes, actually, Molly and I, we read every day. We've said it on the Facebook Lives before, but for some of you that don't know, we do a mastermind session every single morning. And we basically tell each other like what our win was for the day. We set up our goals, and then we also read this chapter on persistence. And the chapter on persistence that we read daily is so key, because one of the things that we've learned from this book is to literally stop making excuses for the things that we're not accomplishing. It's like one of the things how many times do they repeat that in the book, Molly?
A million times. So mama, the book we're referring to is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Have you heard of this book? Tell us in the comments below. And if not, you need to go out and buy it immediately.
Yes, it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, self-help book out there. Napoleon Hill wrote a book on the science of success, basically, and how to become successful. And
25 years he studied this.
Yes, exactly. And he interviewed the most successful people of his times. And, what he realized and throughout his entire studies is the importance of persistence. But in order to have persistence, because persistence is what we need in order to accomplish our goals, one of the key factors is like to stop making excuses for ourselves. And interestingly enough, I was at a women's conference, a Latina influencers conference this weekend, and one of the speakers was actually talking about how you can either talk about one of two things. You can talk about your results, or you can talk about your excuses. And it's so easy, right, to get up in like, you know, telling ourselves all the excuses.
So easy to say, you know, I really want to be fit and healthy, but I don't have time. I'm too tired. I've got the kids to take care of. I don't have enough money to go to the gym. Whatever. Like, you can come up with so many excuses.
Yes, yes. And it's interesting, but as soon as we're held accountable to the fact that we can't make excuses for ourselves anymore, as soon as we sit down and we're like, okay, if this is not an excuse, and this is not an excuse, and nothing is really a good excuse for like going after what we truly want, those are the moments that we actually sit with ourselves and think, okay, if none of these things can be excuses, then what are the solutions that I can figure out to work around those excuses so that those excuses are not excuses anymore? They're just things signaling me that there's a different way that I need to do things. Like if I do have, you know, a child to take care of while I'm working during the day, how can I work around it so at least I get something done? So at least I get a couple of hours and figure out a way, you know, because you and I both deal with that in terms of, you know, being at home, working from home, and then trying to figure out, okay, can I have a nanny? Do I have this? Can I get a couple hours? And today, the fact that I didn't have a nanny, I was able to get somebody to help me for like 45 minutes right now. I'm
like wait, where is that baby right now?
Yes, he's upstairs, yeah, with Esthercita, but you know, I was able to do something, but I was freaking out because I'm like, oh, I have all of these things to do. I have a casting that I need to film today as well. So I'm like trying to work around all my schedule, and I don't know if, okay, no, there was but it's difficult, right? But we can't make it as an excuse. We need to just show up and do it. Otherwise, literally, I would have had Leo sitting on my lap right now.
And we would have totally welcomed Mr. Leo to be right here with us. I tell you, we've got Dawn watching. Dawn knows, she was there yesterday. I do Facebook Lives a couple times a week inside of the Sacred community. And sometimes you do the best you can as a busy mom, and you do try to set up those, you know, overcome those excuses. Okay, well, I have the baby today. Well, let me ask a friend to come over and help watch her so that I can get my video done. Then they end up showing up halfway through the video. So guess what? Baby is now a part of the video. If I were to let that fear of it not going perfectly, of just letting all of the excuses and alibis take place, then the opportunity to show up and share and to teach wouldn't happen. We have to be okay with it kind of being messy and letting go of those excuses.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, letting go. Now, I was going to say, like, the reason why I decided to show up all sporty today was that
you look pretty good, mommy.
I did 5 minutes of my makeup. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like in my gym clothes. I was like, okay, 5 minutes, like, let's go. But I wanted to show up like this because, you know, this is real life. This is what we deal with. We're juggling a million things. And, you know, something that you were talking about also, like, when we're tired and we feel like we don't have time or to do exercise. And, you know, I think we've all struggled. I know I've gone through a moment where I'm like, I don't have time to exercise. Now with 2 kids, a baby and a 9-year-old, one that requires homework, the other one that needs constant attention. And like, how do I figure out a way? But if we get creative, we find a way around our excuses, right, Molly?
Yeah, we sure do find our way around our excuses. At the same time, like, we do our morning success calls, and so I'm also getting my cardio in.
Yes, I literally have, I don't do it as often. Molly is like my hero. She shows up in the call at 6 o'clock in the morning on the treadmill, and it's so cool. And you know, the funny thing is that when you align yourself with people that are doing like those same things, they also inspire you to also keep going. Like, Molly inspires me to exercise. Like, I do it differently because I do my dance classes at night. But I've also been implementing that even more since the fact that we've been together doing our calls, because I'm like, Molly finds time to do it, so then I have time to do it. And then we actually come up with creative ways to be able to work around our crazy schedules, you know? And, but it's incredible how when we stop making those excuses, we actually do find things that we're able to do, right?
We do, yeah. And Mama watching, I'm sure you can relate to this. I'm coming up with creative ways to be the problem solver instead of the excuse maker. A perfect example of that I did yesterday was I had this long list of to-dos that I would have liked to get done within I have a very narrow work window every day and a long list of to-dos. And I could have easily just said, nope, never mind, Molly, like you're not going to get it done. You know, just, you don't have enough time. You're so tired. You've been up since 5:30, like all the excuses. But instead I came up with a creative way on how to get it done, which involved, which involved actually, you know, thankfully my daughter's she's so wonderful, but instead of her napping in the house like she normally does, I brought her with me and had her nap with me and kind of snuck in a little bit more work time to get the things done that I needed to get done. Because I think, Valentina, and I think mommy watching, you would agree that when you have clarity on what it is you want and you're focused on your most important priorities, the excuses will fall away.
Yes, they will fall away. And I think something that also that is helpful is like writing down the excuses. Like I know I started making a list of the excuses that I was giving myself for perhaps, you know, things that I wanted to do, like excuses for not exercising or excuses for not eating healthy enough or excuses for not getting enough accomplished in my day. And then once I had a clear list of the excuses that I was making for all the things that I actually wanted to do, I was able to say, okay, I have this excuse. Well, what can I do so that since this is not really an excuse, what can I do to solve this issue? But I think it's very important to like categorize those excuses and label the excuses that we give ourselves, because we give ourselves so many things. And it works. It works because one by one, the excuses start like falling, you know? Mm-hmm. Like they start toppling over because we are actually thinking about the fact that, nope, that's not relevant. That doesn't count. I can't give myself permission to make this an excuse. Mm-hmm. And it's been really helpful.
It is helpful when you can shine a light on those excuses and move past them. I think oftentimes when we're on our journey of success and business building, we'll look to someone else who's further along and just say like, well, of course they figured it out. You know, she's making more money in her business and she can hire full-time help, or she can outsource this, or yes. we'll look at their journey and compare ourselves to where we are now. But the thing that you don't see, I was watching the Oscars last night actually, and it's like, we see these individuals who are so success minded and they're winning these awards for a reason, and we're only seeing their polished product. We're not seeing all of the work and how many times they individually had to overcome excuses. I'm too tired to run through my scripts. I'm too tired to edit it again. I'm too tired, like whatever it is. No.
Yes, they made it happen. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Whatever it is, no, because you're right. We tend to compare ourselves to these people that, you know, that are successful. And in order, I guess it's a way to make ourselves feel better for the things that we have not yet accomplished. But what we're not realizing is that by making these excuses, by saying, yeah, well, that person's able to do this because, you know, that person eats healthy because they have a chef cooking for them, or that person is able to exercise because they have like, you know, 15 different nannies. But
or a personal trainer, an in-home gym,
yes,
lifetime free membership, whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All of these things that we say, well, that's why they're able to do those things. But what we don't realize, like you said, is that in order for them to even get there, they have to do everything that we have to do at this point, you know, and we can't, and not just that, but we don't even realize the busy agendas that they now have, that they have to, that even with all the things that they still have, how they're still able to juggle all the things that they have. And it's interesting because in the conference that I went, it was all women. We were all women, and we were all mom, and most of us, not all of them were moms, but I would say the vast majority of the We All Grow Summit, you know, influencers that went there, they were all mommies. And this subject was something that was spoken about a lot, is the fact that we have to juggle so many different things. And the one common denominator that I say that all these really successful women that I look up to had is exactly this, the fact that they're no different from you and I. They're no different from you and I in the sense that they have to juggle 1 million things, and that their lives are hectic, their lives are crazy. They're trying to be the mindful mamas that they want to be, you know, and they're also trying to be the mamas that are entrepreneurs, that are forging their self and making their own business and making their dreams happen. So we're all on the same journey, on the same boat ride in a way, right?
Yeah, we are all on the same journey, and that's our own individual journey to success, whatever that is. Yeah. So
whatever.
mama watching, I want to know, what are some of the excuses and the alibis you've been using to hold yourself back? Make sure you leave us a comment below, because I'm sure we can all relate. Don't be afraid to do it. Like, we can all relate. But just shine a light on it and just call yourself out on it, and now choose differently.
Yes. And also, if there is something that you like, there was a goal, like a fitness goal or a business goal that you had and that you always had excuses for, and then you actually decided to stop making it an excuse and you laid it aside, and you actually realized that once you did that, you were actually able to do the thing that you thought was impossible. We also want to hear that story.
Yeah, good one.
So we're going to be back next Tuesday with another hot topic for all you mommy entrepreneurs. And until then, you guys can follow us on our digital platforms. Mine is Mamas con Ganas.
And you can follow me over at Mindful Mamas TV.
Yes, and please like our Facebook page, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Make sure to share this episode with any mommypreneurs that you know that need this talk, that that perhaps, you know, that you know that they want to fulfill their dreams and their purposes and their missions, but maybe they're held back a little bit because they keep making excuses for themselves.
Yeah, let us be your example. Look, mama, we are here. We have a million excuses why we should not show up today, but we are here to show up and to share, to shine a light for you, and invite you as well to let go of the excuses and to make some big results in your life and your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Molly, I know you got a presentation to take care of. I have a tape to send in to my agent. So we'll see all you mamas next week.
Next Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.